Oh, well, hello.
Hello.
Today, we are going to be reviewing a movie we happened upon.
Yes.
We didn't search it out.
Yes.
It showed up on our feed.
We didn't go looking for it. It came looking for us.
It came looking for us. And I don't know how I feel about it. It stars Jake Gyllenhaal, Christina Vidal, I forgot her new last name, Ethan Hawke,
Riley Keough.
Bill Burr, right?
Peter
Skarsgård.
Yep.
And it's called The Guilty.
The reason why it was so hard for us to name all of those people is because the only person you actually see is Jake Gyllenhaal.
Hey, Christina.
I don't know who that is. But yes, you only see Christina and Jake Gyllenhaal. So it's hard.
Okay, spoiler alert. Here you go. If you haven't seen the movie, don't. But if you do, this is what it's about. She's so much better at pitching than I am. Babes, pitch it.
Essentially, you have a disgruntled cop who has been pushed off the streets into the office, which is like every cop's worst nightmare, right? And he's stuck at the call center and he's going, 911, what is your emergency? This is Officer da-da-da. Interesting. I wonder how much research they did, first of all, on that, because Jake went off on some people. And I'm like, if 911 operators actually do that, which I'm sure they do, they're human, I don't feel safe. I feel even less cool about cops than I've already felt in the last, let's say, 2 years. Anyhow, he gets this phone call from a woman who essentially says that she is a prisoner.
She got kidnapped by her
ex-husband. And then all hell ensues.
So he continues to have this relationship over the phone with a woman.
Which is like not allowed
Yeah.
in Copland.
At all. Now, mind you, this is the main story. The backstory, which is heavily acted by Jake.
Heavily. He's the most emotional man cop you've ever seen. And his cute little cat face.
I love his
because he looks like a Cheshire cat.
He's so cute.
Is just going the whole time. And literally there was one point I looked at Raven and I was like, do you think that Jake thinks he's about to win an Oscar for this? Because that's how hard he's going right now, yelling at Emily not to hang up. Emily is the woman who has problems. And spoiler alert, she hangs up every time.
So she keeps calling him. He's trying to find her. Come to find out, spoiler alert, she is actually postpartum.
Well, we don't even know actually that.
Well, she just has to go to a mental institution.
Right. I mean, she has a history of mental illness and I mean, oh my God.
It's much. There's kids involved, but we don't know. Anyway, we wanted to review this because the first thing that came out of my mouth when this movie started, I was like, COVID movie.
Why, you may ask? Because he's 6 feet apart and alone the whole time. Why, you may ask? Because his co-stars, his scene partners are invisible, their voices, and it's just Jake like this. Emily, I need you to stay with me. Okay, Emily,
I killed a man. Emily, I don't want to kill you too, Emily.
Right. Emily, you can't jump, okay? Emily, and she's like, oh, I like you. Let's go to the aquarium. Okay, Emily, I want to go to the aquarium too. She's like, yeah, Oliver's coming. Oliver's her son. Oliver's going to come with us.
Oliver has snakes in his stomach.
And then he realizes that she has a problem because she thinks that her baby had snakes in his belly, and that's why she cut him open. Again, you don't see any of this.
No, you can't, because this is an obviously pandemic type of movie. You know what we also appreciated from you, Jake, was your consistency.
We know you're watching this, Jake, because Jake actually, so all of you know, he is a subscriber to this channel.
You consistently, Jake, reminded us of your asthma, and we appreciate it.
I mean, literally, I said to Raven in this too, he is holding his albuterol so damn hard, and the movie starts with the wildfires, okay? And if you know, if you live in California, the wildfires
are not good for asthma,
or the sensitive air population. as the weather app tells you. But they keep referencing it just visually. Like, no one's really saying anything about it. And then Jake...
Well, no, they said that they couldn't help the girl because of the fires. They brought it up like twice.
Okay. Whatever. But you just keep seeing these, like, these television screens in the call center that have just like firemen and
beautifully shot.
Yeah, they're because they had a big budget left. They're like because we have no costume changes, we have one location, we can spend $2 million on the helicopters that fly over the burning thing. That's actually stock footage from the fires that happened 5 years ago in Malibu. Perfect, let's go. But this man is like gripping his albuterol and he's just, Emily. And I was like, they really want you to know that he can't go the fuck outside. They really, really need you to know that he cannot go.
You can't leave.
I'm like, that is such a clever way to be like, our budget is actually $5,000 to make this movie and we have to pay all of these actors, so...
Voice actors. It was actually really amazing when we finished the movie and saw the credits. How many people were in this movie. It was like one of the best
Do you know what that
live
means?
action cartoons I've ever seen.
It means when you get to be Jake Gyllenhaal status, you can call up all your friends and be like, hey, I'm trying to win an Oscar and I just need your voice.
Brother-in-law.
And your brother-in-law. Yes, family. It's like, come on, come through. But, okay, so... Interestingly enough, the teaser, which is what prompted us to say play on Netflix, was the most interesting thing. And I was a little bit on like the edge of my seat from the teaser because I was like, oh, this is going to be good. Like Jake is going to end up out in the world fighting crime, rescuing a desperate woman. And I'm going to be like, this is a fun crime thriller. And it wasn't. It was different.
A reenaction of Call Booth, of the Tom Hardy.
You mean Phone Booth?
Yeah, Phone Booth. Call Booth, same thing.
But didn't Phone Booth have even more action?
I felt like I was in a small booth with that man the whole time. I will give credit, though. I will give credit to the director and the crew. I think you guys did a wonderful job at piquing our interest because you did not have any scene changes. You did not have any costume changes. I thought that even though the story was really, okay, you kept it interesting. I thought the camera work was really good. I think that was a Farquaad movie, and kudos to you guys on that. But on the overall, I don't know how many one-person movies I can handle.
You have to really love that actor.
You have to. What's his name? Old boy in a box?
Colin Farrell?
No. Buried? What was his name? Who plays Deadpool?
Ryan Reynolds?
Ryan Reynolds was in a box buried underneath the ground for a whole movie.
What was that?
Exactly. I always see these men have these movies where it's just them the whole time. And I'm like, do I like them that much to watch this movie?
That's like the Tom Hardy movie. I think it was called Lock. My sister and I saw it together, and it's literally Tom Hardy in a BMW X5 the whole time on speakerphone. And I was just like, 45 minutes in, I'm like, what is happening? Like, is he ever going to arrive at his destination, park, and exit the vehicle? He never did.
He was on a really serious road trip.
It was ridiculous. I was like, okay, this man's driving cross country.
So all that to say, I have this thing called Bad Movie Mondays, okay? And every Monday, I really like to watch a bad movie. And not all bad movies should not be watched. I think all bad movies should be watched so we know where the bar starts. And I wouldn't watch this on a Monday. I would give it like a Tuesday.
Okay.
With Friday being like, go watch this movie on date night Friday. You know what I mean? I'd give it like, this is a Tuesday, Wednesday kind of movie. You gotta go to work early. You can fall asleep if you want to. You won't miss anything. You know what I mean? I think that's the scale that we should go by. Monday, bad movie. Mm-hmm. Start of your week, you need a good laugh. Friday, you need to watch this movie.
Yeah.
Right? Where would you put
the scale? I would put it at like Tuesday and a half.
Yeah. Like Tuesday at 3 a.m.
Or like Monday and a half, I guess it is. Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that was interesting is that as you start the movie, you do believe that the woman, Emily, that he's on the phone with is the victim. Yeah. And, Jake goes from 0 to 100. It literally calls the ex-husband and he's like, you should be executed. And like, literally,
you're going to jail again.
You have to pay. You're not a victim. And then like 40 minutes later, in 40 minutes later in movie time, but like 6 hours later in their time, in the character time.
You see it on his phone, it's like 7 p.m. And then when he's cussing out this guy that he's never met before, it's 2 a.m.
And so like 40 minutes of viewer time has gone by, but there's been a huge transitional leap of time in the film. And you then hear Emily reference the snakes. And in between that, we have heard Jake Gyllenhaal illegally sends
multiple people,
one police officer to enter into the ex-husband's home, and then sends 2 other cops to these children that have been left alone, which is a good one.
That was a good thing.
And they discover that the baby is bleeding.
Thought he was dead.
They think the baby's dead. And Jake loses his shit when he finds out that there is blood. He's yelling. He's literally, you know, sucking wind through his inhaler. He's just losing his mind. And then he comes to discover that Emily has had some kind of, you know,
psychotic break,
delusion, and thought that the baby was injured, and obviously hurt the baby to get the snakes out of the baby. And the whole drive, the purpose of the drive was the husband was trying to get her back into the mental institution that she was previously in, and she'd stopped taking her medication. And you're just like, okay, wow.
Yeah, Jake really worked his acting skills on this one.
Mm-hmm.
I would suggest, you know, if you're looking for a good Jake Gyllenhaal movie, just to round it out. Oh, really? You choose Prisoners?
Yeah.
I choose Nocturnal.
No, I mean, he's done amazing. But if you want to see Jake as a cop doing cool shit, watch The Prisoners, because he is so
really
sexy in that, number 1. Number 2, he's so sexy in that. And number 3, his chewing on the toothpick is fantastic. So sexy. You're gonna be really happy. You won't even care about Hugh Jackman being all fucked up and shit.
Not
because
at all.
He is so sexy.
Yeah.
So,
and I like Nocturnal. I think that really dives into his layeredness as an actor. I love Amy Adams. I love the turns. I love the beauty of it all. Tom Ford, love you. So, you know, Jake, you have some wonderful movies under your belt. We understand, you know, the past 18 months have been difficult.
For everybody.
And we really appreciate you tapping in to that difficultness and showcasing it.
You know what I appreciate? How many asthmatics are featured in movies that really get to actually like be the main character, because you have the little boy in Signs, and then you have the boy, I think, in The Quiet Place, but you don't get to see asthmatics, and they are a population of individuals. I was an asthmatic that deserve representation.
Thank you, Jake.
Thank you, Jake.